I'm gonna be honest, there wasn't a single match on the show that I liked. And yeah, that's including the main event. AEW typically delivers a certain type of pro wrestling that I feel as if I've outgrown on some level. Not to say that I'm some high IQ wrestling geek that's too good for pro wrestling's new Renaissance brand. I'm just not that little kid anymore that would tune into TNA back in 2011 and exclaim to any other wrestling fan who would hear that they're superior to WWE because I genuinely believed at the time that a TV-14 rating made them super edgy compared to the more family-friendly product that WWE was adapting to. Hell, that's not even to say that I've outgrown what I loved about TNA back then. I still go back and watch old clips every now and again to relive some of the old storylines that I saw so much potential in. Say what you want to say about Immortal, but I thought that their hostile takeover of the company, as someone who wasn't reading dirt sheets as a child, was riveting TV. I was a die-hard Jeff Hardy fan back then too, and his heel turn was far more compelling to me at the time than pretty much the majority of what WWE had going on. So when it comes to the strikingly similar up-and-coming rival WWE promotion we know today as AEW, I can understand now even more than I did then why the fans are so passionate about the show. Especially considering how heavily AEW leans into the fuck WWE narrative, taking what feels like total nonstop digs at the company, whether it be making fun of how WWE has their wrestlers watch TV in the back during a match in an awkward way, or about how here in AEW, wins and losses matter, like Kenny Omega said during his admittedly decent promo on Orange Cassidy. Wrestling fans now more than ever are fed up with WWE, looking for the next great big promotion to deliver television that isn't insulting or as infuriating as what WWE offers on their week-to-week shows. And not only was AEW the answer to that outcry for better wrestling, but it stoked the fires as well. And while yes, I'm in the camp of believing that WWE isn't exactly stellar television, I would still prefer to marathon every episode of Raw so far this year than watch this particular episode of Dynamite twice. At least with Raw, I'm not getting obnoxious inside jokes, cheap pot shots at the competition, and matches that don't have any of my interests when they're happening. Give me Nia Jax in a squash match against anybody over another match between Cody and fucking QT Marshall. AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts, a phrase recently coined by Vince McMahon in response to a question about the content of his new competitor, delivered absolutely nothing here in terms of match quality. And I'm not even somebody that needs a 50-minute strong style lucha flippy fuck match to walk away praising its greatness. The fucking Choco Pro has shows for free on YouTube in somebody's garage that delivers what I feel are excellent matches. And they are by no means your typical 5-star classics, like how Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker is considered by any wrestling fan in the know these days. If anything, the more I watch AEW in particular, the more I just want to write it off as something that I'm just too old now to like. I can see the potential in guys like Orange Cassidy or even MJF, but it's really not enough to justify sitting through what were the absolute worst parts of Ring of Honor back in 2017 and 2018 for me, before there even was an AEW to talk about. Every single match besides the main event didn't need to happen, and even the main event itself wound up being nothing but a disappointment by the end of it. AEW is capable of putting on decent shows, don't get me wrong, but so often do their events wind up being complete wastes of time, not unlike the very same company that they love to pick at for laughs every other week on their show. Personally, I've already been through my rival competitor phase as a wrestling fan. I've been over it for a while. All I want these days from wrestling is a good show or better, and I don't care from where. And unfortunately for me, AEW just isn't cutting it. But hey, I'm still a wrestling fan at the end of the day, so I'll probably be back for the next big show. I just hope it doesn't lay as many eggs.